My wife announced, "I'm getting my tubes untied. My ex wants kids now." Assuming I'd raise them, I said, "Follow your heart." Then I filed for divorce and froze my assets. Her lawyer called me 2 hours after the surgery. I had what I thought was a solid marriage with Michelle Pierce, 39, 8 years married, no kids by choice. That wasn't always the plan. Year 3, we lost our first pregnancy at 20 weeks. Devastating doesn't begin to cover it. We spent 2 years in counseling, grieving together, healing together. By year 5, Michelle got her tubes tied. We were that sure about being child-free after everything we'd been through. I drove her to the surgery, took care of her during recovery. We built a comfortable life, nice house, travel twice a year, solid retirement plans, peace. 2 months ago, Thursday evening, we're having dinner. She drops this bomb between bites of chicken parmesan. Zachary reached out. He wants to have kids with me. Zachary, her ex from before we met, the great love who dumped her 16 years ago when she started talking marriage. My fork literally stopped halfway to my mouth. "Okay," I said. "And you're telling me because I'm considering getting my tubes untied." Fork hit the plate. Actual metallic clang. "Come again?" He realized he made a mistake. We've been talking for 2 months. He wants to try again. Wants a family with me. "You've been talking to your ex for 2 months?" "Just catching up. Nothing physical." Like that made it better. "So, you want to leave me for Zachary?" Here's where it gets absolutely insane. "No, I don't want to leave you. Zachary can't afford kids on his own. He's a graphic designer, good money, but not great. We can afford it though. You make excellent money, the house is almost paid off. We could raise them together." I stared at her, waiting for the punchline. It never came. "You want me to raise kids with your ex-boyfriend?" He'd be involved, just not financially as much. He'd be like a fun uncle who visits. A fun uncle who's also the biological father. You're making it sound weird. It is weird, Michelle. She actually got defensive. Started talking about how I'm close-minded, how modern families come in all forms, how this could be beautiful, how Zachary is creative and sensitive and would bring different perspectives to the kids' lives. "Michelle, we agreed on no kids. You got surgery to ensure no kids. We went through hell losing our baby and decided together." People change. I'm allowed to change my mind. You're allowed to change your mind. You're not allowed to bring your ex's kids into my house and expect me to pay for them while he plays weekend daddy. Our house, our money, we're married. That's when I knew this woman genuinely expected me to bankroll her do-over with Zachary. "Follow your heart, Michelle." She smiled, actually smiled. "Really? You'll consider it?" "No, I'm saying do what you want, but understand I won't be part of it." The smile vanished. Friday morning, she was at her laptop researching tubal reversal surgeries before I even left for work. I made 3 calls that day. My lawyer, Howard Fleming, my financial advisor, and my brother, Lucas. Lucas nearly choked on his coffee. "She wants you to what now?" "Raise Zachary's kids while he plays artist daddy." "And she's serious?" "Dead serious. Already looking at surgery dates." Howard Fleming, good guy who handled my colleague's messy divorce, was more clinical. "Get everything in writing, every conversation about this arrangement. Text instead of talking." 1 week later, the reversal surgery was scheduled. Private clinic, expedited timeline, $12,000 procedure. Guess who she expected to pay? Monday morning, she slides a credit card authorization form across the breakfast table. "Adrian, just need your signature. The clinic needs payment up front." "I'm not paying for that. It's our money. We're married." "Money for you to have another man's children. Hard pass." She went ballistic, screaming about how I'm financially controlling and emotionally manipulative. Her sister Gina called an hour later. "What's this about you refusing medical care for Michelle?" "Medical care? She wants to reverse sterilization to have her ex's babies. She's your wife. You support each other. Supporting her doesn't mean funding her reunion tour with Zachary. You're being petty. I'm being practical." Michelle ended up taking a loan from her 401k, $15,000 with penalties and taxes. She was furious, said I forced her to do that. Meanwhile, I'd met with Howard again. "This Zachary situation," he said, reviewing my notes. "You have texts, emails? She doesn't hide it. She's proud of it. Get everything in writing, every conversation. So I started texting instead of talking. Me. Just to confirm, you're having surgery to have Zachary's biological children? Michelle. Yes. And you promised to support me. Me. I said follow your heart. I never agreed to raise another man's children. Michelle. You're my husband. Of course you'll help raise them. We're a team. Me. What's Zachary's financial contribution to this team? Michelle. He'll provide the genetic material and emotional support. Financially, he's still building his career. You know this. Don't be cruel. Howard loved those texts. Said they'd be very helpful. The surgery was scheduled for a Friday. Thursday night, Michelle was packing her overnight bag. Humming. Zachary's driving me tomorrow. He wanted to be there for support. How thoughtful. Don't be sarcastic. This is a beautiful thing, Adrian. Creating life with someone I care about. You'll love the kids once they're here. You'll see. The delusion was complete. Friday morning, I worked from home. At 9 a.m., after confirming she'd checked in for surgery, I initiated the plan. 1. Filed for divorce. Howard had everything ready. 2. Froze all joint accounts per lawyers. Advice. Temporary legal hold during proceedings. 3. Separated my direct deposit to a new individual account. 4. Canceled all joint credit cards where I was primary holder. 5. Changed my life insurance beneficiary to Lucas. 2 hours post-surgery, my phone exploded. Not Michelle. She was still in recovery. Her lawyer. Mr. Pierce, this is Janet Coleman. I represent Michelle Pierce. What the hell did you just do? Filed for divorce. I assume Michelle mentioned our situation? She's in recovery from surgery. You froze her accounts while she's in the hospital. The timing is unfortunate, but the decision was made when she chose Zachary and his hypothetical children over our marriage. This is financial abuse. It's asset protection during divorce proceedings. Very standard. She needs access to funds. She had access. She spent 15 grand on surgery to have another man's babies. Silence. Then, you agreed to this arrangement. I have texts proving otherwise. Would you like copies? We'll be in touch. Michelle came home Saturday afternoon. Zachary dropped her off. Didn't come in, just waved from his Honda Civic. Real provider material there. She found the divorce papers on the kitchen counter. The scream could have shattered windows. Adrian, what is this? Divorce papers. Thought that was clear. I just had surgery. To have another man's children. Yes, I'm aware. You said follow my heart. I did, and you did. Now I'm following mine. It's leading me to divorce court. She tried using the credit card to order dinner. Declined. Tried getting cash from the ATM. Account frozen. How am I supposed to eat? You have your loan money. That's for baby expenses. For your and Zachary's babies. There is no our anymore. She called Gina, called her mom Barbara, called Zachary. The entire squad showed up Sunday morning like some twisted intervention. Gina, you're a monster. She's recovering from surgery. Surgery I didn't want, didn't approve, and didn't pay for. Barbara, marriage is about compromise. Compromise? She wants me to raise her ex-boyfriend's children while he plays daddy on weekends. Where's the compromise? Zachary finally spoke up. Look, man, I know this is unconventional. Zachary, with all due respect, shut up. You couldn't commit to her 16 years ago. You can't fully support kids now, but somehow you convinced her to blow up her marriage for your genetics. You're either a master manipulator or she's lost her mind. Either way, not my problem anymore. I love her. Then you support her financially. Figure it out. You're leaving her with nothing. She'll get her fair share in the divorce, but I'm not funding Zachary's breeding project. They left after Michelle started crying about her incisions hurting. That evening, Michelle tried emotional manipulation. Remember when we got married? You said you'd do anything for me. Within reason. Raising your ex's kids isn't reasonable. You could learn to love them. I could learn juggling too. Doesn't mean I should. Zachary says you're threatened by him. Zachary's a graphic designer trying to get his ex to fund his legacy. I'm not threatened. I'm disgusted. Monday, she escalated. Posted on social media, some men can't handle when a woman chooses her own path. Controlling behavior is abuse. Financial abuse. My body, my choice. The comments were mixed. Her friends rallied. Mine saw through it. My buddy Keith commented, Didn't she choose the path toward her ex-boyfriend? She deleted the post after someone asked, "Wait, is this about Zachary, the guy who dumped you for a 22-year-old?" The mediation was scheduled 3 weeks later. Michelle showed up with Zachary. At our divorce mediation. Howard. Is there a reason Mr. Brooks is here? Emotional support, Michelle said. This is a legal proceeding between spouses. He's my partner now. Since when? Since Adrian abandoned me. Janet jumped in. My client was forced to seek support elsewhere when Mr. Pierce withdrew all financial and emotional support. He withdrew support for funding another man's children, slightly different. We went in circles for 2 hours. Michelle insisted she needed the house for the babies. The mediator finally asked directly, "Mrs. Pierce, are you currently planning children with Mr. Brooks while seeking support from Mr. Pierce? The children deserve support regardless of biology. Children that don't exist yet? They will exist, with Zachary. Then perhaps Mr. Brooks should provide support." Zachary. I'm an artist. My work isn't about money. The mediator's face was priceless. We didn't reach agreement. Howard filed for expedited proceedings based on irreconcilable differences and abandonment of marriage covenant. Meanwhile, Michelle had moved Zachary into my house temporarily because his roommate situation fell through. I stayed with Lucas, paid the mortgage on a house I couldn't live in while Romeo and Juliet played house. Friday evening, my neighbor texted, "Zachary's rearranging your furniture. Thought you should know." My furniture, in my house, being arranged by the unemployed artist. Michelle escalated beyond belief. She changed the locks on my house, the one with only my name on the deed, bought before marriage. Saturday, I showed up to get clothes. Key didn't work. "Michelle, open up." "You're not welcome here, Adrian." "It's my house." "Michelle lives here. You abandoned her." Cops arrived. The officer looked tired before I even started explaining. "So your estranged wife lives here?" "Estranged wife. Divorce in progress. House is mine. Premarital asset." "But she lives here?" "She changed the locks while I was staying elsewhere to avoid conflict." "Sir, this is a civil matter. Handle it in court." Zachary appeared in the doorway with that same smirk. "You heard him. Leave." Monday, Howard filed emergency motion for exclusive residence use. Tuesday night, I got served. Michelle filed a restraining order, claiming I was harassing her and threatening Zachary. Said I showed up aggressively and was preventing her from starting a family. Howard was furious. "This is clear manipulation. She's trying to establish residence and paint you as the aggressor." Wednesday's hearing was a circus. Michelle showed up in a loose dress, hand on her flat belly, playing victim. Judge: "Mrs. Pierce, are you pregnant?" "Not yet, but hopefully soon." "With Mr. Brooks's child?" "Yes." "While married to Mr. Pierce?" "He abandoned me by not agreeing to raise another man's children." Silence in the courtroom. Howard presented the deed, text messages, bank records, security footage from neighbors showing Zachary moving in. Restraining order denied. Exclusive residence granted to me. They had 48 hours to vacate. Michelle screamed in court, "This is discrimination. I have rights." Judge: "You have the right to pursue your relationship with Mr. Brooks elsewhere." Moving day. I hired off-duty security. Best $400 I ever spent. Michelle, Zachary, Gina, and Barbara showed up with a U-Haul. Even Zachary's mother appeared, yelling about injustice. "You're putting my son on the street." "Your 40-year-old son who's having an affair with my wife?" "Yeah, I'm the villain here." They started loading boxes. Michelle was crying, making sure everyone saw her tears. Then Zachary tried to take my flat screen. "That's mine." "Michelle uses it." "Receipts in my filing cabinet." "Don't be petty, bro," says the guy screwing my wife. One of the cops stepped forward. "Sir, put the TV down." Zachary backed off real quick. Greta tried next. "Michelle needs furniture for her new place." "Then she should buy some." "With what money? You froze everything." "She has a job. Zachary's an artist. Figure it out." Barbara pulled out her phone, started recording. This is what financial abuse looks like. Forcing a woman from her home. "It's literally my house. Premarital property." Howard, who'd shown up to observe, Premarital asset, actually. Here's the deed. Barbara kept recording anyway, muttering about viral videos and justice. The real drama came when Michelle tried to take my grandmother's dining set. Absolutely not. We picked it out together, from my grandmother's estate sale with my inheritance money. I need it for the babies. What babies? You just had surgery 3 weeks ago. She burst into tears. You're so cruel. I wasted 8 years on you. Weird way to describe a marriage you're leaving for your ex. They finally left around 2 p.m., truck half empty because most their stuff was actually mine. Michelle's parting shot. You'll regret this when you die alone. Better than raising Zachary's kids. 3 weeks after moving day, cracks were showing. Gina called. First time she'd sounded tired instead of angry. They need to find their own place. Zachary won't look for better work, says he's processing trauma from the move. Michelle keeps talking baby names. They're not even pregnant yet. And you want me to help? God, you're right. This is insane. What was she thinking? The divorce moved forward smoothly after that. Janet stopped pushing unrealistic demands. Latest offer, Michelle takes $30,000 cash and walks away. That's actually reasonable, Howard said. She cheated with her ex and wanted me to raise his kids. She gets standard division, nothing extra. You could end this quickly. She made me leave my own house for 3 weeks. She deserves nothing extra. Thursday, unknown number texted me. Zachary. Zachary. We need to talk man to man. Me. Pass. Zachary. I'm trying to be respectful here. Me. You're screwing my wife. Respect sailed long ago. Zachary. She's divorcing you. She's not your wife. Me. Still legally married, genius. He kept sending paragraphs about destiny and connection, how they were meant to be, how I was standing in the way of true love. Me. You had your shot 16 years ago. You chose someone else. Now you're broke and need a meal ticket. Michelle volunteered. Not my problem. Zachary. You're bitter. Me. I'm realistic. Stop texting me. Blocked him. Friday afternoon, Michelle showed up at my office. Security called me down. She looked rough. Unwashed hair, no makeup, same clothes I'd seen her in for 3 days. Adrian, we need to talk. Through lawyers only. I'm pregnant. My blood went cold for exactly 2 seconds. Already? It's been 5 weeks since surgery. The doctor said it was possible. Congratulations. Zachary must be thrilled. He is, but we need help. No. The baby is innocent. The baby is Zachary's responsibility. You're really going to let a child suffer? I'm really going to let Zachary handle his own child. She started crying. Ugly, desperate crying. Security looked uncomfortable. I made a mistake. Several, actually. I should have talked to you first. You should have stayed faithful to our marriage. We can work this out. You could be like an adoptive father. Security guard actually coughed to cover a laugh. Michelle, go home. Just go. This isn't over. Actually, it is. 6 weeks later, the divorce was finalized. Standard 50-50 split of marital assets. House appreciation. I had to buy out her share for $35,000. Michelle walked away with about $45,000 total. Not the windfall she expected, but not nothing. The pregnancy was a lie. Shock of all shocks. Gina confirmed Michelle got her period 2 weeks after that office scene. Never pregnant, just desperate. Zachary lasted exactly 38 days after the divorce finalized. Once reality hit, no house, no money train, just Michelle's $45,000 burning through apartment deposits and furniture, he bounced. His exit was pathetic, even by Zachary's standards. Michelle woke up to a note. Need to find myself. This isn't working. Sorry. He took $3,000 she'd withdrawn for baby furniture and vanished. Michelle called me crying at 2 a.m. He left me. Okay. That's all you have to say? What did you expect? I gave up everything for him. Yes, you did. You must be happy. I'm indifferent. I want to come home. That's not your home anymore. We had 8 good years, including surviving losing our baby together. You threw it all away for Zachary. She hung up. According to Gina, who still texts occasionally, Michelle's living in a 1-bedroom apartment working overtime to cover expenses. Dating apps aren't working. Apparently, just reversed sterilization for my ex's babies isn't a selling point. Who knew? Zachary's Instagram shows him in Costa Rica, finding himself through art and adventure, with another woman, younger, of course. Barbara called once trying to guilt me. She's struggling. She's an adult who made choices. She was confused. She was calculating. It just backfired. Don't you feel anything? Relief. And honestly, that's true. The house is peaceful. Got a promotion at work without drama affecting my performance. Started casually dating someone, nothing serious, but she's never mentioned wanting me to fund her ex's children, so that's already an improvement. The best part? Michelle sent a Christmas card, a photo of her by a sad little tree in her apartment. Inside, thinking of better times, maybe new year, new chances, I texted Gina. Did Michelle seriously send me a Christmas card? She thinks you'll take her back eventually. Based on what? Delusion, mostly. She calls Zachary the mistake now. The mistake that cost her everything. She knows. Good. Last I heard, Michelle's considering moving back to her hometown. Rent's cheaper, could stay with Barbara. Who would love daily opportunities to tell Michelle how evil I am while Michelle slowly realizes Zachary played her like a dollar store guitar. As for me, life's good, quiet, drama-free. The way marriage was supposed to be before my wife decided her unemployed ex's genetic material was worth more than our life together, our shared grief, our shared healing. She wanted me to raise Zachary's kids. She got to experience Zachary's commitment level instead. She wanted to follow her heart. It led straight to a one-bedroom apartment and maxed out credit cards. The entitlement was staggering. The assumption I'd just bankroll it, insulting. The surprise when there were consequences? Priceless. Do I feel bad? Sometimes late at night I remember the good times. The way she held my hand during those terrible weeks after we lost our baby. How we rebuilt ourselves together, made peace with being childless, created something beautiful from that pain. Then I remember her sitting across from me, excitedly explaining how I'd pay for Zachary's offspring while he played weekend dad, and any sympathy evaporates. She didn't just betray our marriage, she betrayed our entire journey together, the loss, the healing, the decision we made as partners to close that chapter of our lives. She reopened that wound for Zachary, someone who'd already proven he couldn't commit to her when it mattered. I think about the night she got her tubes tied the first time, how scared she was going into surgery, how I held her hand in pre-op, promised I'd be there when she woke up. How we both knew it meant closing the door on biological children forever, but we were okay with that because we had each other. That woman who squeezed my hand and whispered, "Thank you for understanding," became someone who expected me to fund her ex-boyfriend's parenting dreams. The transformation wasn't gradual, it was complete. Lucas asked me once if I thought Michelle was having some kind of mental breakdown. People don't just change like that, he said. 8 years of marriage, everything you went through together. Something must have triggered this. Maybe he's right. Maybe Zachary's reappearance triggered some unresolved grief about our lost pregnancy, made her think this was her second chance at motherhood. Maybe she convinced herself that since we'd shared that loss, I'd automatically share this joy. But trauma doesn't excuse betrayal. Grief doesn't justify cruelty. Whatever psychological journey led her to that dinner table confession, she made conscious choices every step of the way. The secret phone calls, the surgery research, the credit card authorization form she slid across our breakfast table like it was nothing. She chose Zachary over our marriage. I chose my dignity over their delusion. The aftermath taught me things about myself I didn't know. How quickly I could detach when someone showed me their true colors. How clearly I could think when my survival was at stake. How little tolerance I actually have for manipulation disguised as love. People asked why I didn't try harder to save the marriage. 8 years, they'd say. Don't you owe it to yourselves to try counseling? But there was nothing to save. The woman I married wouldn't have had secret conversations with her ex for 2 months. She wouldn't have scheduled major surgery without my input. She certainly wouldn't have expected me to raise another man's children while acting like I was the unreasonable one. That woman was gone, replaced by someone I didn't recognize. Someone who used words like modern family and beautiful arrangement to describe adultery and financial exploitation. Someone who brought her boyfriend to our divorce mediation and couldn't understand why that was inappropriate. I grieved that woman, the real Michelle, the one who held me when I cried about our lost baby, who researched grief counselors and held my hand through 2 years of healing. She deserved to be mourned. But I wasn't going to set myself on fire to keep her memory warm. The divorce taught me about asset protection, legal strategy, the importance of documentation. But more than that, it taught me about boundaries, about the difference between supporting someone and enabling them, about when compassion becomes complicity. Michelle's friends still think I'm the villain. They see a woman who wanted to have children and a man who abandoned her for it. They don't see the months of secret planning, the expectation that I'd fund it, the complete disregard for our shared history and agreements. But their opinions stopped mattering the moment Michelle chose them as her advisory board instead of treating me as her partner. When you're planning to blow up your marriage, I suppose you need enablers, not truth-tellers. The woman I'm dating now asked about my ex-wife once. "What happened?" she said. 8 years seems like a long time to just throw away. She didn't throw it away, I told her. She traded it for something she thought was better. Do you think she regrets it? I think she regrets the outcome. I don't think she regrets the choice. And that's the difference. Regret about consequences isn't the same as understanding you were wrong. Michelle's Christmas card proved that. She still sees this as something that happened to her, not something she caused. She made her choice. I made mine. The difference is I can live with mine. Zachary's still finding himself in Costa Rica. Michelle's finding out that starting over at 39 with nothing but debt and delusion isn't the romantic adventure she imagined. And me? I'm finding that peace and self-respect are worth more than any relationship built on entitlement and betrayal. Best $45,000 I ever spent to get my life back. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting people experience the natural consequences of their choices. Michelle wanted to follow her heart to Zachary. She got exactly what she asked for.